Hi, welcome back to Margaret Country Crafts and Miniatures. My name is Catherine and thanks for clicking on another video, or maybe this is your first video. Either way, thank you so much for clicking. Today we are doing a DIY miniature clay pieces. That's right, so we're doing little DIY miniature clay pieces that I can put into my miniature room. So we're going to start off with a bunch of this scalpy white oven baked clay, and I'm just going to knead it up so that it's nice and soft and malleable. And at first I thought maybe I'll make like a can of something. We're gonna put it on top of the fireplace. That's from my Victorian room DIY. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you go watch that. That's where that fireplace is located. And also I did the whole room as well, so you'll want to see how that whole room came together. And I'm just going to use my tool to try to sculpt out a shape. And so with this, my plan is to make a little miniature lamp. So I do have the base where I have that tube piece. So I wasn't making a can of like hairspray or anything. This one is going to be a lamp, so I'm just trying to make up the top part of the lamp and trying to make the little triangular pieces that can form the lampshade around it. And it takes a lot of finessing just to get the pieces to blend together, to stick together. And I'm going for a 1/12 scale size. I'm not being exact in measurements, as you can tell. I'm just cutting pieces by eye. Maybe one day I'll get to that point where I'm actually particular about sizes and using a ruler. But for my first attempt, this is like my first attempts at doing clay making. I'm not a regular clay maker, so this experience is new for me, so I'm learning as I'm going. I'm just using this little, I think it's a nail tool actually, but I'm using this little tool so that I can carve out and make sure that there's a definitive difference between the lampshade and the base of the lamp. Much of this video will just be kind of like a soothing, relaxing journey of claymaking. I don't particularly have much to say in this video because claymaking doesn't have very definitive steps. I can try to show you what shapes I'm making. But I'm not really sure how I can describe it for you guys. I'm gonna try my best. But I think we now have our little miniature lamp. And back with more clay. I'm just going to flatten this piece out as much as I can and make some straight edges. And so this one I'm going with a square, a classic square look. I'm just rounding the edges a little bit because I am going to make a stack of books, a little miniature stack of books. And here's the first book. I tried to give it the look of the spine of the book too. And this smaller one is going to go on the top, and I think the one I first made, I'm going to make that one the middle layer. We're going to do a stack of books of 3 books. So this one is a little bit bigger, and this one is going to go it's going to go on top. In a stack of 3 books. Next, I want to make a picture frame. So I cut out a square again, but this time I'm chiseling away the center part of the clay in hopes that we can get some like depth to make a frame. And I'm just using one of the coffee stir sticks that I have to just chisel it down more. It takes a lot of finessing. That's what I'm learning with clay making, is that it takes a lot of finessing, a lot of molding, a lot of perfecting the piece that you're working on. And there we have our frame. But we need a backing for this frame. So I took some extra clay and I'm just gonna put a little bit of a swoop stand on the back of the frame so that we can make this frame stand up. On to the next one. I'm taking a little bit of clay. I'm going to roll it out into a long, thin tube. And just cut off a little tiny piece. And with my tool, I'm just going to carve out a little bit of a lid on top of it, and it's going to be a little mini bottle for the top of our fireplace. I was thinking maybe like an ink bottle because I am going to be making an open book. So I did have the stack of books, the stack of 3, but now I'm going to make an open book, which I'm doing right here. So I'm just carving out some curves, and I'm carving out where the center of the book is going to be. And then I picked it up, the whole piece, and I'm just going to pinch the back of it so that we can get the spine of the book. And just adding a little bit of curves to the pages or to the 2 sides of the book. And there we have our open book. And the last piece I'm going to make is a tiny little ink pen or pencil. I think it ended up looking like an ink pen, and that makes sense that because we have the little ink bottle too. But I'm just rolling it out to be super thin. So then we're going to bake it for 15 minutes at 275 Fahrenheit. And that will firm up all our pieces so that we have solid clay pieces that we can paint. And now we are going to get to the painting, but I'm just demonstrating how our pieces look, how the pieces look on top of the fireplace. I'm going to take some red paint, and we're going to paint the lampshade a red on top. Now, I did come to realize that this red is a little too bright for my liking. So at various stages, like I darken it up, I add some brown paint, just so that it has more of a rough antique look to it. Because let's be honest, I am not a professional clay maker, so these pieces themselves do not look the smoothest. They're not the most elegant clay pieces you've ever seen. So I kind of want my painting style to match that too. And I had added some yellow because I wanted it to look like the lamp was lit up. But by the end, there was very little yellow because I just didn't like how it looked with the red and the brown. And this is where I just put on some more brown paint over that red. And we're going to paint our little ink pen. I'm doing like a base coat of brown on all of the pieces. I think that's really going to help carry the vintage look and maybe make it look very aged, like aged pieces, because I do want to fit into the style of the Victorian room, right? And I'm taking inspiration from what I've seen on my Avon miniatures too. How were those constructed? What do those look like? How were those painted? And let's be honest, not some of them, they do have painted imperfections. And I'm just going to take some of the folk art gold paint that I love to use. I'm going to put it around the edge of the frame so we can have a gold frame. But first I decided, oh, it's better to give it a layer of brown paint. So we're just going to do that to all the pieces. We're going to give all the pieces a layer of brown paint, just as a base. Even the open book. If you're liking this video, please like it. If you would like to subscribe, I would love that. Please subscribe. And please turn on the bell notifications so you know when I upload. And then I'm taking some green paint and we're going to make one of the books in the stack of books green. We're going to make the bottom book green. And I just did some green edges to the open book, and I'm going to take my Posca black paint pen and I'm going to just do some squiggle lines on top of the open book so that it looks like writing. And there we have our open book, which was pretty easy. I'm going to put more of the green paint on the back side just to complete off the book. And I had darkened up that green with some brown paint just to make it a little bit of a deeper green. And I'm doing the same with the red because we're going to make the second book on the stack a red color. And back with my Posca paint pen, I'm just gonna color the ink pen black on both ends to complete that. And I'm just painting the little ink bottle as well, coat of brown. And back with my Posca black paint pen, just trying to add some depth to some of the pieces by adding a little bit of black on certain areas. And there we have our little pieces, our little clay accessory decor pieces for our fireplace. Just adding a finishing touch to that little ink bottle. Super tiny. And now I'm going to glue them on top of our fireplace. I'm going to set out all the pieces, the book, the little ink pen, the stack of books, the lamp. Just using some hot glue, I'm going to glue them down. Now you may be thinking, but this is a fireplace, this isn't a desk. And that's a good point. That's a very good point. But I just wanted to make some pieces that would look nice on top of this fireplace. And that sure, why can't somebody have their books on top of the fireplace and a lamp and a frame? Why not? And there we have our finished painted pieces glued on top of our fireplace. And here's a view of our fireplace in the Victorian room that I made in my previous video. Make sure you go check that out. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. This was a fun one to do. It was new for me to do little clay pieces, but I think they turned out pretty cute. Let me know which piece was your favorite in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye.